or to the cloud. Okay, cool. Morning. Okay, this is September 7th. This is Next Level Training, Lesson 1, starting it over again. We are recording. So we're going to kind of mix it up a little bit today because both of you are, oh, you're good. Both of you just got started with the company at the same time. So I'm going to kind of go through what the booklet is, where to find this information, and then what you should be working on and, progression. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. All right. Okay, so lesson 1, first things first, you have to be able to access this information. And the way you find this information is in the back end of the website. So everybody is able to go to hubbellrealestategroup.com. So you're going to end up going to hubbellrealestategroup.com. From hubbellrealestategroup.com, you'll be able to go to, this is an actual iPad portion of it. Okay. Let me go and change this to the desktop version. Systems, devices. Under systems, we want tablet mode turned off. So desktop mode. No. Well, if you're on your iPhone, this is what it's going to look like if you're on your iPhone. If you're on a computer, like this is being registered like an iPhone right now, but you would go to agent login, which would actually be right up here in the top corner. And your username is going to be your first and last name. Your password is going to be your 4-digit printer code. So ultimately, if you don't have one, that's what you're setting up your very first appointment with someone at the office, because they're going to get you set up on the website. They're going to get you a 4-digit printer code. The 4-digit printer code works for the prints. It works to register to get into the website, and that's your key to get into the door or any office that we open in the future. So make sure you have your printer code. Make sure it's confidential, because that's how you get charged at the end of the day. If something got broken into and your printer code was used, ultimately I'm going to be like, did you break into the office? Did you forget to lock? Like, you're going to be the last person that did that. So make sure that your printer code is confidential. So we need to set you up on the website, set you up a printer code. We'll ultimately have to show you how to use the printer and make sure that the printer software is added to your laptops as well. So if you have a laptop, make sure you bring that in and get that set up as well. You need to hook into the network. So the network passcode, it's HREG, and that's the network, what it's labeled. So you're either going to see HREG-5G or just HREG. The passcode is lowercase HREG, and then you hold down the shift button, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That will get you into the network. By being on the network, now you can use the printer if the printer software is hooked into your laptop. If you don't have a printer code and you install the printer software, you still won't be able to use it. You'll get an error message. So just know that when we're getting it set up.
Password is all lowercase?
The password is all lowercase. Hold down shift 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so once you get into the back end of the website, you're going to see 2 things. All right, what we're looking at is all of the links on the side. These are all the links for the offices, for the office. So marketing, whenever you want to get onto a training course, like what we're doing right now, you can always click on this link, the live video class, and that will pop up. I encourage everybody to click on this right when you set up your computer, because ultimately you're going to need to download the software onto your computer. You're downloading Zoom onto your computer, and that way if you ever want to use it. If you have an iPhone or an Android, I encourage you to download Zoom onto your iPhone, because you can actually watch these webinars on your phone if you're sitting, out in the field or at a property or whatever. If you ever need office policy, again, it's going to be here. It'll also be in Broker Sumo as well. So we're going to have it 2 places. Our IDX, this is a system that we have in place. So an IDX is a third-party company that pulls data from the MLS and pushes it to your clients. And it's based off of our personal website. So if you want to see what it is, you'll get a username and password also when you get set up, and that's your IDX setup. And you can actually start putting clients in the IDX as part of your how I want to follow up with clients. You can store that data there, and you can always log in. You can see your clients. You can see what properties went to your clients. You can kind of work out of that. That's a free system that we offer to you guys. And then this is where HREG lessons and trainings. Tom Ferry is a great marketing coach. So ultimately, you have access to my username and password, and you can see the events that he puts on, all of the marketing. He has a great program called Breakthrough Broker, and it's like step-by-step what you should be doing every day to like build your business. So you have access to all of that. This right here is our calendars. If you need to set an appointment with someone in the office, if it's a quick little 5-minute question, then you're just popping in and asking questions. I'm encouraging agents that, hey, I'm having a real hard time with a contract. I'm having a hard time setting up my Facebook, something. I don't understand Broker Sumo. You're going to want to set an appointment, and that way we get notified and we block that time for you guys, and then we'll sit down and we'll go over whatever you need. But ultimately, if I have 40 agents reaching out to me for 30-minute questions all the time, I can't stay organized. So this is actually for anybody in the company, which Madison put you down that we need to add you to this as well, because you're going to ultimately be helping agents work through Broker Sumo questions. And then this is where you can always go back and see the videos that we've done.
I'm in my account, but I can't find where you're at.
Because you have not been set up yet until 1 o'clock today.
Okay.
So when you go to Hubbell Real Estate Group,
I'm in an account. And a dashboard and everything.
that's Broker Sumo. You're in Broker Sumo. So we are playing on the personal website for Hubbell Real Estate. So if you go to HubbellRealEstateGroup.com, in the top right-hand corner, there's going to be agent login. You don't have a login. Okay. So that ultimately needs to happen first, is getting this set up. Now back to lesson 1. Now that you're getting started, it doesn't matter if you're a new agent or an experienced agent. Going through this course will give you an idea of, did I do these proper steps? Because we're selling real estate, which means once you have a sale and it's done, you do the same thing over and over and over and over again. So it doesn't matter if you've been doing it for 10 years or this is your first transaction. Everybody's doing the same thing. It's just how many times have you done it? So when you first pass your real estate test, or you're coming on board with us, the first thing we're looking at is, have you organized your sphere of influence? Because she's going, no, and she's 2 years in. And the reality of organizing your sphere of influence means, yeah, I get it. It's in your head. It's on your cell phone. You're out talking to your people. But have you really taken that data and put it down onto paper that says, these are the people I know. This is how I know them. This was the last time I sent a marketing piece to them. This is the last time I talked real estate with them. And I need to, and this is my future plan to stay in touch with these people. Now, whether it's I want to touch once a month, or I want to send a mailer once a month, or I want to make a phone call every 3 days, or I need to ask for referrals from the people that I know. This is your game plan, and you should have that sphere of influence always set up. Because you got to think of your sphere of influence as people that won't judge you or give you a hard time. The general public doesn't know you. They're expecting excellence. Sphere of influence knows you because they either like you, or you guys are friends, or they want to help, or they're open to hearing what you're doing in your life. That's why they're your friends or your family. They want to know what you're doing. General public, they're going to ask a service of you, and you need to perform with excellence. This is just a conversation with your sphere of influence. So you're always going to have a sphere of influence in your business. As you start setting up a foundation of your sphere of influence, it will start growing, because as you start doing this business, you'll start meeting new people, and through those people, you'll meet new people, and you'll meet new people, and that will ultimately, you'll start categorizing them as, this is a future client or a referral, but then once you do business with them, they'll end up becoming a friend. And now they're more than just a referral, they're part of your sphere of influence. You only need about 250 people that are solid in your sphere of influence to make a living out of this business, if you do it correctly. Doing it correctly means asking for the referrals, asking for the future business, following up with thank you cards, sending Christmas cards, sending anniversary cards, sending birthday cards, following up when you sold a property, following up with them, hey, it's been 1 year since I sold you that property, how's it going? That's all sphere of influence. So if you don't have a CRM, or you're not ready to invest in your business, or you're not ready to get that nice quality CRM, an Excel spreadsheet will work. And I try not to lean on you guys to spend a lot of money right out of the gate. Ultimately, you're going to get a CRM. If you're really in this business, a CRM is your heart, your heart and soul in this business. That's what keeps you hooked. I started with something small. Once I went to top producer, now we're talking about Commissions Inc. So it will grow as you grow.
Because I didn't have any budget to put towards a CRM when I first started. And so I did the Excel spreadsheet, and I didn't find it very user-friendly. I found myself not using it a lot because I couldn't just upload something from here to there. It's these little boxes, but there are a ton of free CRMs. I just started looking at this last week and really like hunkering down on that, because I know it's an area I need to focus on. But yeah, there's tons of free ones.
My dad started with index cards. He'd get a name, he'd put the index card on there, and then he'd make a note every time, and he'd have the index cards in his car. And as he's driving, he's like, I got to call 5 people today. And he'd just grab 5 out of the index cards and he'd call. And he'd stick them in the back of the index card and he'd pull from the front. I mean, it can be as simple as that. That just keeps you on track to make your phone calls. The goal should always be, I need to meet 5 new people a day. We'll keep the job away. I mean, that's kind of the 5 new people, because ultimately your first goal in this business is to get your database up and running quickly, because the sooner you have that, the sooner you have a game plan of who you're going to market to on your first phase in this business. Who am I going to reach out to ask, can I show you what I do now? Can I ask for referrals? Do you know anything about it? So, okay. You need to, these are personal goals with each of you. But sitting down and writing down, what do you expect to get out of real estate? Why did you get your license? What do you expect to do? And be realistic with yourself. I don't need to see these. These have nothing to do with the brokerage. This is personal for you. There's going to be times where you don't want to get out of bed. There's going to be times that you don't want to make a phone call. There's going to be times that you're so frustrated with this business that why did I do this? You need to have a very strong why, because this is a difficult business. You're dealing with the general public and emotions, and there's high competition. So you have to be strong enough to go, I'm going to push through, because the moment you quit, it's like that's when it could have turned for you. You'll never. So you need to know what your why is. What do you expect to do on a daily basis? How many hours are you putting into it? And then you need to break it down even farther as it's not about the hours, it's when I'm working, how productive will I be? So when I do things, am I doing things that are profitable or that are necessary for a foundation? So am I working in my business to build a foundation, or am I working on my business to build my profitability? Setting appointments and showing your listing presentation and taking buyers out, those are profitable transactions. Closing a sale is the only thing that gets you paid in this transaction, in this business. All of the little stuff that you do to get to the close of sale might be necessary, but the close of sale is the absolute only thing. And it doesn't matter how you get to the close of sale. We give you ideas and tactics and strategies, but at the end of the day, that is the only thing that gets you paid. It can be within 3 days, it can be 30 days, it can take you 2 years. But that right there is the only thing that's profitable in this business.
And you get to ring the bell.
And you get to read about it. So, tinkering in a CRM, is that profitable, or is that working in your business or on your business? Yeah. It's working, it's working in your business. If your calls, or you have a high return rate of calls where people answer calls during 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 5 o'clock in the afternoon or 9 a.m., then you should not be playing in your CRM in profitable times. This is where you got to change the mindset of going, okay, I need to time block during profitable times. I'm going to make my phone calls at 9, and I'll work in my CRM from 10 to 10:30. Don't try to get everything done all within 3 weeks, because ultimately you'll do it as much as you can in 3 weeks, and then in the 3rd week you're going to look back and be like, wow, look at what I've got accomplished, but I forgot to do profitable things, and I've wasted a whole month, and I have nothing in my pipeline to show for it. This is where agents go like this. It's a roller coaster. So it's spend some of your time working in your business and getting foundation stuff set up, and make sure you spend some of your time doing sales and making your phone calls and talking to people about real estate. Either showing up for appointments on listings or asking people, are you ready to look at property? Make sure you're doing a balanced job of that. All right, what you need, I'm not going to go through all of this. It's very self-explanatory with setting goals, strong work ethic, guidance. You're going to run into hurdles like, what should I be doing right now? What should I do to market my business? What do I do to make my phone ring? This is a very out-of-the-box, creative type business. At the end of the day, there's no one way to do this. You have to be you doing what you love to do. So you can't sit in the office and think, I've been playing on Facebook all day, and no one has called me, and I told everybody I'm a real estate agent and no one has called me because I put it on Facebook. It might work down the road, but it is a very slow process. At the end of the day, you have to take who you were before you got your license and show the public that you are somebody now different because of what you're doing. And that takes time. So the faster you can change the mindset of your friends and family to look at you differently, as I am now a full-time licensed professional, that's what you're trying to get to do. And you can do that by doing posts online that is relevant information. Like, hey, this is what's going on in the market. This is what interest rates are doing. These are new listings on the market. This is new coming soon properties. These properties just sold. People like statistics. People like accurate statistics. So, hey, I'm doing research and I found that NAR says that home prices have rose by 3% over the last 60 days. That's like a little blog that you put, and maybe every day you push yourself to try to do one informational piece that you personally do, not a post that you just grabbed and shared, but actually something that is your language that you're putting and writing a post down. You will start getting followers. People that are like, wow, she's really educating me about what the market's doing. If you plan on doing something like that in social media, then you need to set up a social media platform that shows your business off, whether it's a business Facebook page. If you do it through your personal page, you're going to have a hard time converting people. They're going to look at you and they're going to see all your personal stuff, so they'll see all your fun weekend stuff too. And so that might pull them back to go, oh, this isn't, you have a very professional blog, but I saw you hanging out at the lake with a beer in your hand. Now you kind of not. Yeah. So at a certain point, you're going to be like, I'm me being me. You never want to change who you are. And my clients are like, yeah, you go out and you have drinks. Like your clients go, and you like to drink wine. But when you're building that initial stage, building that rapport, you do want to kind of set a barrier until you found out who you are in real estate. Right now, you guys are just still learning to figure out who you want to be in real estate. And you need to set that persona and start setting that up in your marketing. Okay. First thing you should be doing, and you should be doing this probably once every quarter, is sending out announcements or letters to your clients, sphere of influence. It could be relevant information about what's going on, or it can be an announcement letter that I just got my license. This is like, I got my license for you stuff. I transferred to a new brokerage. Whatever's going on in your world for real estate. I closed my first transaction. People want that social media stuff, but they also like old school letters. That's when you're going for the high-end dollar amount. Those are baby boomers. And baby boomers like the old school letters. They like that personal touch, the sign. Millennials, got to be social media all day long. I don't even think they know where they get their mail. So it's all social media there. So learn the inventory. First thing, go to your Friday meetings. Go to your caravans on Friday. If you have a particular area that you want to specialize in, go there or get on the MLS and then get off the computer and go physically there. Go walk the neighborhood, go drive the neighborhood, go talk to the neighbors. Just be out in the world in the area that you want to focus on. And even if you have no reason to be there, just be there because, I'm trying to learn about the community. Can you tell me about someone's walking their dog? Hey, I'm trying to come into this area. I love the homes here, Why do you like this neighborhood? You just had one conversation. You're going to give them a business card. And now you learned about the territory that you're trying to specialize in. And then don't give up on that territory. It takes a while to break into a territory. But once you get into one, you get one transaction, it will blow up and blossom to multiple. Lavinia, I am staking a claim in that until I literally run out of properties to talk to. But I have a whole street now that I know every single owner on there, and they know who I am. And I was just out walking around, putting signs up, taking lock boxes down. They're like, oh, hey. And that's 2 weeks of just going there and bringing bottles of wine to my client, popping up throughout just random times through the day, just being there so they can see me. I'm sitting in the park, I'm on the phone. I have no reason to be there, but I'm sitting in the park and they kind of recognize me now. And so now that I'm not why is this guy in our gated community? I've been accepted. So I'm putting a stake in the ground there. Okay, so learning the inventory, definitely the best way to learn the inventory, going to your Friday caravans. Can't stress that enough. I've been doing it long enough to where most of the agents, but I've been slacking on it and I need to pick that up. Linda, how often do you go on caravan?
Every week.
Every week? Solid.
New with you.
Yep.
Every week?
Every week.
You know the inventory. Somebody calls you and goes, hey, I saw this property. Because once you get your name out and your friends start looking at you like, it's been 2 months?
I'm on the 3 or 4 now.
Okay, 3.
3, because
okay.
I think we went into escrow at 2 months.
Okay, so 3 months. When did you see a transition where people started looking at you differently as far as knowing what your profession is now?
When I knew more about what I was talking about. I still do a lot of hey, I don't know, but give me 10 minutes and I'll find out.
Sure. But they might be, are they looking and asking oh, Noah's involved in real estate? Most of your friends and family know that you're involved in real estate.
Yeah, for sure. And they're very into that.
And so when they call, how many times when you talk to somebody, real estate comes up in your transaction, in your conversation?
Decently often, because it usually starts as how have you been? What's new with you? And then it's oh, I closed a transaction last week. Oh, that's awesome.
It's so in his mind right now that even if he's sitting down having a burger with a friend, I'm sure it's coming up in that conversation sometime during that conversation. That will happen. Your brain will just start telling you to talk about real estate, and before you know, the conversation will shift to real estate always. Whenever you sit down with friends, they'll know that the conversation is ultimately going to hit to real estate eventually, or they'll just automatically take you there because they know you're going to go there anyway, and they actually had a question about something. So they'll start it out.
It really has
It's funny how your real estate radar goes off. If you're out somewhere and you hear somebody mention real estate or home or something, it's all the beep, 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 beep.
So that goes off. Your radar goes off. You hear someone talking over da-da-da-da-da. If you can't come across as confident, to break into that conversation, because these are total strangers that are like, oh my God, I'm thinking about selling my house, or oh, my neighbor just put their house on the market and da da da, or oh, I don't want to move, I hate moving, I just, or, oh my gosh, we're trying to find a new home. I love those little, oh my gosh, I'm trying to put my home on the market and we need to upgrade and get something else. Usually I try to break in with some sort of icebreaker type. I mean, it's almost like dating. You can't just like, hey, you want to go out on a date? You got to kind of do that one liner that kind of makes them laugh, bring their guard down, and then here's my card. I'm an agent. My coach told me that. So that's why that came out.
I'm not sure.
I'm not dating. It's been a long time since I dated, but my coach was saying,
Actually, it's a little bit your favorite.
Okay, cool. It's true, it is. So they're sitting there chatting. Don't just lean over and be like, hey, I'm an agent, you want to talk? Like, oh my God, I can't stop from overhearing. I'm an agent. I just helped my client do the same exact thing that you're doing, and I got to tell you, my experience, it goes so smoothly. There's actually a couple people that can help you move if you need some recommendations. Like, that's more value, and like, and it might bring their, oh my gosh, yeah, I need a mover. Like, I've been shopping for a mover. Oh, I have a great recommendation, and da da da. And now you start this rapport. You need to make sure you ask for the business or for the contact information, or you're saying, hey, let me send you stuff to help you. I don't want the business. I just want to help you. I mean, I'm in the industry. I just want to help. What's a good email to send that to? You don't need to spit all your game right there, like everything about real estate because you have them locked. Get it, and then try to jump into a different conversation where you're building rapport. Because you'll end up following up within 2 days, 24 hours. Be like, oh my God, that was such a good conversation we had. How about we meet for coffee and we can continue that conversation on how I can help you. That's when you're going to ultimately go in for the, if you try to do it right there on the spot, it may or may not work. I mean, it's worked for Linda. I think Linda said that person saw you with your name badge. You just got to feel it out. But again, if you don't know the neighborhood, or you're coming off very insecure about what you're doing, it's gonna come through when you talk to them, and that's just gonna kill it. Ultimately, your first couple ones, don't be scared of failure. Don't be scared to get out of your comfort zone and talk to someone because you might fail. Who cares? You will. Just get that out of the way right now. You're all gonna fail, and then we're gonna do it again, and we might not fail that time, and then you're gonna do it again. And failure means that you're succeeding. If you're not failing, you're not trying anything new. And everybody in this room needs to try something new, or else nothing's going to change. There's no transactions. Like, you have to be uncomfortable in this business. That means you're growing. All right, first impressions. Dress for success. Depends on your atmosphere. Like, if you're headed to the paintball park, you're headed to go grocery shopping, you're headed to something that's not in a professional atmosphere, all day long, try to blend in with your surroundings. You're going to the gym, don't wear the nice suit trying to recruit. Go to the gym to go to the gym, and if an opportunity presents itself, make sure you're on your game to handle that objection right there, that, hey, here's my card. Always have business cards on you. Never be caught without business cards. I mean, you should just beat yourself up if someone goes, oh, can I have a card? And you go, I'm just out. And I do it all the time. I'm the worst about it. If you guys catch me doing it, call me out on it, make me feel like an idiot in front of that person, and then make sure you hand your business card to them. Just be like, oh, don't worry about Dave here, you can take mine. Wear your name badge. Name badges are cheesy, you feel silly with them, but it's free marketing. If you got one client a year because of your name badge, that's ultimately a $10,000 name badge right there. I think it.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to that. I did that, and then that I got a client.
And it works. Linda got it? Okay. If you want people to come up and talk to you because you're too nervous to talk to them, put your name badge upside down. They'll come up and be like, oh, did you forget your name? And you're like, and then you can play it off. There you go. Dad did it, but he didn't even know he did it. That works. It does work. It's literally, if you're like, I have nothing in my pipeline and I'm just in a funk, and every time I open my mouth, just negative comes out, Ooh, turn it upside down, let them come to you. You walk around the grocery store, people will be like, name badges upside down. Be like, oh my God, I've been so busy working and I can't even remember to put my name badge on.
So busy selling those 5 homes today.
Right? Again, it's all perception and your attitude. 99% of this business is all you as a character. It's you as the persona of what you want to be seen as, because selling real estate is simple. Doing real estate and selling real estate is the same thing over and over again. That's not the hard business. The hard business is getting the rapport and the trust that why should I work with you over the 100 other people that do exactly what you do? And ultimately, it's because of you and your character and what you stand by and your beliefs and how you handle people. That all is value. That's all value to your client. They want to work with you because they want to help you succeed. Those are the type of clients that we want to work with. To get there takes time. Okay. So by name writers, again, the moment you get open house signs are probably your biggest thing. So if you're starting off or you want to get a pipeline, again, these are just sources of business. Open houses are sources of business. Hubbell Real Estate has open house signs, but it's first come, first serve, and it brands the company. The goal is to brand you. You need to get your name out there. You need to let people know that you're working. If they constantly see open house signs every weekend, it might take 2 months of hitting the same neighborhood to have targeting that neighborhood. But the moment that it starts clicking, they're seeing your name, you're there every weekend, you're doing open house, it's the same thing. It will start clicking with the general public that, okay, this person is a working agent. They want to see that you work. Everybody has a license, but they want to see the working agents. When I was in the neighborhood just the other day, the 3 ladies that I was talking to was like, oh yeah, we've seen these agents, but man, we were really impressed with what you did. And then it looks like you've been here so much. Yeah, when we want to use an agent, we want one that works. And it's like, and I kind of ended their sentence with, I'm like, yeah, you want somebody that hustles, right? Yeah. And they like that. They're like, yes. So here's like 10 of my business cards. Please hand them out at all the meetings, locally here. I want to be this area representative. If you don't know, Don is building websites. He works for Local Clicks. The websites. So you have a Hubbell Real Estate backend that will show ultimately.
Let's say howdy, David.
It did.
Someone customized their greetings.
Yeah, does it? Oh, yeah. Okay. So you can take this, and this can be your personal one. This is going to have your name, your bio, who you are, your Real Satisfied links. So if you're not sure what Real Satisfied is, this is a way that you can do testimonials. Again, there's tons of companies out there. This is the company we're using. Your client does a testimonial about you, and then it'll get pushed out onto our website. It'll go on realtor.com and a couple other sites that it goes to. And then you can take it and put it on Zillow and this and that. A lot of internet leads and internet business, if you decide to get a lot of source business from the internet, you need to have high reviews. We're talking 30, 40 reviews.
If you have reviews already on Zillow, do you have to ask your clients or your past clients for another review to get it onto this website, or can you take your Zillow reviews and put it onto this website?
That would be calling customer service on Real Satisfied.
Okay.
And having them, ultimately the reason why you want to use a verified source is it gives the client some comfort knowing that these are real reviews, that this isn't you going on and making your own review.
These aren't.
I know, exactly.
The Zillow ones aren't.
But no, there's no way of just copying and pasting it on, but you can copy it in an email and send it with a verification of the source and then ask customer service, can you put this on? Yeah, as long as they can see that it's been verified, I don't see why they wouldn't allow it.
Okay.
But I don't know. When you go on listing presentations, this is nice as like a pre-listing thing where you send them your link of your testimonials before you go on the presentation. Hey, why don't you take a look at the people that I've worked with? If you don't have any reviews, this isn't going to work for you. So jump on Zillow and get clients to do reviews on Zillow for you, or go to like Google and have them do Google reviews for you. So Google, Yelp, Real Satisfied, Realtor.com, Zillow, these are the big ones. A Yelp review and a Google review would be a big, or a Facebook review. You can actually get people to do that as well. So you have a Facebook business page and you can send them a link. And even if they're not a client, maybe they're working with you or they're a friend, those would be big reviews to have. If you start getting 5, 6, 7 reviews on your Facebook page, that you can use in the future to show, hey, these are people that respect me. At the end of the day, the client doesn't really, if you're at a listing presentation and you have a handful of reviews, that's just as good as someone that has them all on the website too. No one's going to question those if you have a handful. The goal is get some. Eventually, you want to have the reviews on Zillow. That is the only source on how Zillow really operates, is off of reviews. So those are huge. Same with Realtor.com. Those are huge because it puts you at better placements when someone is searching Grover Beach. Based on your reviews, puts you on whether you're on page 1 or page 2. So what's nice with Zillow, what I've been doing is I've collaborated all the reviews as a company. So not only do you have your own personal site on Zillow that says Linda Moser, but then it also has a Hubbell site that says we have a collaborated amount of reviews. And so if we're competing with one agent in a territory and it's our company, we're typically beating that agent because we have 50, 60 reviews versus 8. And so the company will have better placement. They click on the company and then it shows all the agents that are a part of the company. So then you're only competing with 30 instead of hundreds. So that is a little tip, little trick that we're doing over here to give us better placement for you guys. Okay, then it has a little search page here. If you have listings, it's going to show up, and then it will always show some listings. So if you don't have anything, at least if someone goes to your free website, it looks like you have listings. Then it has a little contact page down here. Good thing to do as a new agent or even an experienced agent, make sure you have your own URL, your own direction. Instead of going HubbellRealEstateGroup.com / Linda Moser / members, go to Google or go to GoDaddy.com, spend $4.99, $7.99, and pick out your own domain name, whatever you want for your marketing. CentralCoastHomes.com, MovingWithMoser.com. Then you can log into GoDaddy and you can say, anybody that clicks on Moving with Moser, I want it to go to whatever website I have. And that becomes your mask. That becomes your marketing piece. You put that on your business cards, you put that on your car writer, your name writer. You need to get the public, you put that on your Facebook. This is your, what you get from the company. I have 2 that are called Hubbell Home Search or Hubbell House Value. When you log into Matrix, we're going to take your Cloud CMA and Property Stream. Cloud CMA and Cloud Stream, and mask the URL there. It's your URL, but it's ABC/CloudStream, and it's this long. We can mask it with Hubbell House Value. We can mask it with Hubbell Home Search. And ultimately, if you have a buyer, you can put that on the bottom of your email signature line that says, searching for the perfect home, go to noah.hubbellhomesearch. And they click that and it goes to your cloud stream. And then they can search for properties. You want to make sure you have those type of marketings on all of your emails. So if you're ordering business cards, maybe on the back of business cards, searching for property, go to, and again, you don't have to use Hubbell Home Search. You can buy your own, but if you don't want to buy them, I have them available that say Noah.HubbellHomeSearch, Noah.HubbellHouseValue. Or you can make your own up. Noah sells a lot of property. Click here and it goes to my Cloud CMA. Cloud CMA is that free program that you pay for through NAR that does a report for properties in the surrounding area of whatever the client wants. So when they go to the link, it goes to its own landing page. The client types in their address. It captures their data and it sends them a report and it sends you an email that says you have a new lead. Ultimately, the only way that is going to work is if you get your link out into the public. Whether that's a post once a week on Facebook, but I would encourage that you put that on every single mailing marketing piece that you have. The more you can get that information out, the better. Okay. So that, car signs, these are all ways of sources of business. So we need to start thinking of sources of business. These are things that you need ultimately, a good thing to have: laptop, clipboard, cell phone, reliable transportation, open house signs are a big one. And then I talked about sphere of influence. So making a plan, don't limit yourself when you're making your sphere of influence. Don't question whether or not you think they want to talk to you. Don't question whether or not you think they know you. Just start writing first names down. Then after you're done with first names, then start writing second names, like last names down. Then once you have that list, and go for 250. Push yourself. You know 250 people, you just don't think you know 250 people. Because you'll get like 30, and then you go, what about the post office lady? Man, I've been talking to her for 4 years. I'm gonna write her name down. What about my grocery lady? Or my haircut person? What about the person that cuts my lawn? What about the person that has been babysitting my kids? What about, oh man, I had friends in high school. What about friends in college? What about my parents' friends that helped raise me when I was younger? You start thinking outside the box. But if you start by, this is their name and this is how I know them, you're going to get so bogged down with all this other data, like their address and phone number, it's going to slow you down and you'll forget the names and numbers. So you just want to focus on the names of the people at first. And once you get, literally you're out of time to I just can't think, then go back and fill in the blanks of okay, now I got to track down their phone number, I got to track down their address, I got to track all this down. If you don't have 250 names somewhere in your database, then go back and start there. Doesn't matter if you're experienced, new, whatever, start there, because 250 is all you need to make a living in this business. And instead of going out and trying to introduce yourself to somebody you already have in the past, build off of that. Because those people somewhere in that list is a transaction. Think that you're I'm hunting for $10,000. In this 250 names of people is $10,000. Can I find it?
Shaking every piece.
Come on. Okay. That's where this whole leveraging your relationships comes in. You don't want to jeopardize it where you're just getting them soliciting hard, but you do want to make sure that they are aware of what you're doing.
I remember at Tom Ferry they said when talking to your sphere, try and go as long as you can without bringing up real estate and let it come into the conversation. I remember one of the guys, and that's usually what I'll do is I'll message people and just hey, how you doing? Oh, I saw you had this. That's awesome, and just genuine conversation. And then they're usually oh, well, what's new with you? Well, I closed a house last week. Oh yeah, it's awesome. I've been doing this and this, and then they ask about it, and then it doesn't seem like you're selling yourself to them, because they open that door.
Yeah. Win Friends and Influence People. It's a great book. Talk about them. Them is I. Be interested in them, and eventually it'll come back on you, asking the same questions back on you. But if you start conversations with I all the time, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, no one cares. You're the only one that cares about what you're doing. Focus on what other people are doing. That will ultimately turn a conversation back to you. So when you're starting a conversation, start it with, how's it going in your world? What's new in your world? Tell me about what's going on. That conversation will blossom because people love to talk about themselves. You want to talk about yourself. Do your best not to. Catch yourself. Literally catch yourself doing it and then stop. It's really, really hard to do. But once you find that you're in habit of doing that all the time, it'll just kind of flow naturally where you're more interested in their world, and eventually they'll start asking you questions. And even when they ask you questions, you limit how deep you want to go. Because again, the moment you start saying you're going to lose their interest. So you answer their question, but then you return the favor. So tell me let's hear more about you. Let's hear what's going on in your world. And eventually it's going to get down to some sort of real estate. Oh, my neighbor is blah, 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 blah. Oh, so, you might be able to help me. I am starting to look, the conversation will shift. Money matters, so how much should I be spending? Time is it? 15 minutes? Okay. Everything in this business is going to cost money. You can't do this business without spending money. And when you're scared of spending money, you're going to be scared of, ultimately, you have to get out of the comfort zone, but you have to make sure you're spending it wisely, that you're spending it on things that are going to do a return on you. How much should you spend? In the beginning, if you're very, very new and you have no foundation, then you should be focusing on your sphere. If you haven't budgeted, even if you have budgeted, you've budgeted to get to where you are. You have never budgeted to what this business is going to allocate to get going forward. So agents that come in, it's like, oh, I put $1,000, I put $5,000 away. Wonderful. But if we don't budget how to use that $5,000, you're going to continue with the same habits you always have been. And then you'll start a business on top of it, and now you're draining those resources a lot quicker than later. So you really have to be careful on, like, if I put $1,000 towards my marketing, what return am I going to get? And out of that return, I'm expecting at least 2 transactions, and out of those 2 transactions, I'm going to make, $12,000. And I want to see this happen in 45 days. That's a true budget of going, this is what my expectation is. You look like you've had some experience
It
there.
makes me so nervous. I just don't know where to put the money.
Yes. Again, I can show you what the return I've gotten. You can ask around to other agents, hey, what I would not do is I would not go out and buy leads right out of the gate. I would do things that are free, that should get you business, whether that's farming. Again, I would always focus on my sphere. So if I don't have 250 in my sphere and I really haven't worked my sphere properly, I wouldn't spend a dime unless it's a dime in my sphere. That's where all my focus should be in the very beginning. And until you feel that you've drained your resources in your sphere, now you're going outside your sphere to start farming and start networking outside your sphere. So if you're going, well, no one in my sphere wants to talk to me, you probably haven't worked it properly. So go back and revisit it and do it again and change up your concept and start, and again, do your 250. And you're like, I don't have 250 people. Yeah, you do. You just have to really dig to come together. Because ultimately, even if they're friends of friends that might not know you because it's been 10 years ago, at least you have a better connection with that person 10 years ago than going out and trying to meet someone brand new that has no idea who you are, or you have to pay for their service. Because any business you pay for, when that person finds you and comes in, they're looking for an over-the-top expert. And if you haven't even tested the water in your sphere and done your fails to learn how to succeed, then the moment this business that you paid for comes in, they're going to see that you're not ready for that. And ultimately another agent's going to get it. Because there's no lead out there that is exclusive to just you. If there's third-party companies selling you leads, those leads are getting sold to other agents too. You got to always know that there's other people getting those leads. Even if they say they're exclusive, that buyer has signed up on so many different websites that person has put their information out in the world that they're looking for an agent. Your sphere is the most important thing you could be doing. How you get in touch with them, you can change it up with video is really hot right now. So going home and practicing the selfies. Linda got an awesome camera and a gyro camera thing. What is it?
It's a gimbal.
A gimbal. You have to get comfortable on the camera. If you're not good at writing things down, then do a blog once a month on the video. Or you're at the MLS. I saw Noah do this in the beginning, and I haven't seen it since.
Oh, my first meeting that I went to. Yeah.
Because he was excited about it, but he didn't follow through with it. So
There was
now you gotta
such
get back
a
on it.
with lives.
I did. It was at the first meeting, and they had someone from the
And
county.
you had like 6 comments on there of people that commented back to you.
Yeah, it was. He had good information of stuff that was going to affect the county that most people never have heard of, and so I just said like, hey, you guys should go check out this website.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of good information. I went to my first meeting. Like a lot of great people, and I'd like to be a resource to anybody here.
Yeah, try to do, if you're not going to do Facebook Live, then do, there's so many different apps that you can use on the phone to blend to blend stuff together and make like a little fun video. But ultimately, you could do something where you're at Caravan. Hey guys, I just got done with my MLS meeting. What are those little 1 second or 10 second, 1 minute clips or whatever? There's apps out there. Take your video, just got done with the MLS meeting, so excited, clip, done. Then you're walking into a property, da-da-da. So you do like 9 videos, and then you take those videos, put it into the app, put some music behind it, and now it's a 15-second video of your whole day.
They did bring that up, that you
No,
can.
I mean, when you're outside the property, and you're like, I'm walking into my first property on Caravan today. Hey, I've been on 9 properties today on Caravan today. Man, I'm just finishing up on Caravan. I'm at 32 agents, and I'm heading back to the office. Ultimately, all those clips, you can turn them into little 2-second, 3-second clips, and then you put all those clips together, you put some music behind it, and you say, a day in the life of a realtor. Realtor. Day in the life, what I do for a living. That would be entertainment for someone to watch. And they'd go, wow, this is kind of fun.
And please don't make it like a 7-minute video. Nobody
No.
watches those.
It's like 2 minutes is always the max. It's usually like 1.5 minutes, 50 seconds. On entertainment stuff, it's less than a minute. If it's educational, they may hang on for like 2. And then you're pushing. If you're really doing a training thing where you're meeting a client or you're sending a contract to a client, you're doing BombBomb, which is a video email system, then you can take your time where you're walking through contracts. Like whenever I do a presentation, instead of sending the offer over to the other agent, I'll send it in a video. I'll send the offer with my presentation, with me talking to the agent. And that's like a 4 or 5 minute video of my presentation. Because I feel I can do better talking than I can writing. I handle objections or things flow better for me when I talk than I do writing. That's just a personal preference. So play around online, play around on apps and see what's fun that might be entertaining. And then do day in the life of an escrow. I know there's a timeline on if you have a camera and all it does is just take pictures and you set it up and maybe you're doing you're getting ready for an open house or you're getting ready for the day to start your day. And you do from start to finish your morning routine, a time lapse. And all of a sudden it's my morning routine as a successful agent. And it's you jumping out of bed and like you're reading your affirmations, you're doing your jumping jacks, you're going through the MLS, and all of this becomes a story that you're sharing online on what you do to get ready to be an agent. Then maybe you're doing your phone calls, all this stuff record yourself doing.
Love it, R&D.
What's R&D? Rip off and duplicate? Sweet.
I was gonna say, you should know R&D.
I know, right?
Oh my gosh.
Right? Yeah. That would be entertainment, and you would get more views doing something like that than you would doing a post online saying, hey, the interest rates have changed. And someone will comment, and then you gotta do an action plan, like a call to action. Day in the life of an agent, what would you do differently? That would make people respond on your timeline. Well, for one, I'd get up at 6 because I saw your alarm say 8, you know, and da-da-da. Or I would have done 50 more phone calls, or man, I would not do that business because it's too hard. Or, you know, you would get people to interact with you. And the more that they interact, the more you can start converting with, well, you know, that's why I do what I do, because you don't have to. So let me be your agent for you, you know, and remember me when you're ready. Because I'll be up at 6, making my calls at 11, and not closing my book until 9. Something, you know. Okay, never stop learning. You have to come to your trainings. So come to your trainings like this are great, but it's more mindset over here for the Tuesday. So what we're going to start doing are Tuesday, like, you know, what to do, how to market, things like that. Thursdays are going to just learn systems. Again, these don't make you money. This just gives you ideas how to source and make sure you're productive. Wednesdays are education. Wednesdays are, I'm a educated agent. When someone asks me a question, I can give them an educated answer back based on contracts. You're being hired not because you can sell or buy real estate, because you can sell and buy real estate as a realtor. We have protocol. That's why people hire you, is because they want that protocol in place, because it's a smooth process. When agents aren't educated, they're buying and selling real estate, but they're not doing it under protocol, they tend to, that's where the issues come in. So the agents that end up getting educated, that's why clients are hiring you. You're like an attorney in real estate. Now that's the level they want to view you as an educated, trusted advisor. Everybody, I'll get buyers that say, well, I've done real estate this way. Great. You can do real estate on a paper napkin, but I'm a realtor. I'm a professional, and there's protocol I handle. And the reason why I'm trying.
It's
Realtor. If that's easier.
Realtor?
Realtor.
Realtor?
Two correct pronunciations, realtor or realtor, but there's
Realtor.
only two syllables.
Realtor.
Not real
Why would you use
realtor.
it?
He says real
He said
realtor.
realtor.
Yeah.
I do also.
That's general public. Like that's
It just sounds.
But you're not, you're a educated professional.
That's right.
right.
Running
I'd
your
rather
business.
say educated professional than realtor.
You said it right.
Yeah.
So it's not that you can't do business differently. It's the reason why they hire us is because we do this business this way. And the way we do it is contracts and in writing and no handshakes and everything's in writing. There's a protocol through everything. And we stay within this umbrella of our contracts. Well, why don't you write your own addendum? Because Carr wrote contracts for a reason. We stay within those. I'm educated on my Carr contracts. Everything you are trying to do, I get you want to write your own language because you think you're protecting yourself, but that's what Carr and that's what you hired me to do is to make sure I use the proper form to get the same results. There is a form for everything in this business. And coming to your contract trainings on Wednesdays, educate you on how to use and when to use and the proper time to use that form and how to explain that form properly.
Super beneficial.
Super beneficial. I mean, it's almost a must until literally you can become, and the more that you come, start interacting going, I want to be the teacher. Because the more you teach, the faster you'll learn it too. Because now you got eyes on you and someone's going to correct you if they go, well, I interpret the contract this way. No, well, that's wrong. And you're going to go, oh, okay, I need to relearn this contract. So I'm almost going to start having Gary like point at somebody and say, explain this contract right here at this moment in time. And see if you guys are able to do that. Because until you're able to do that,
Everybody better start showing up.
okay?
Hey, Dave,
Yes.
a GRI designation, the Graduate Realtor Institute.
Yeah.
It's a.
I like how you made sure that you said that,
I
Bob.
always say that. But take a look at what the average, $21,000 more than somebody who does not have the designation. This is a really intensive course, so I think it's about 3 months for it.
I haven't taken it, but I've heard, yeah,
Very
it's
intensive
pretty
course,
intense.
Highly recommend it.
So there's courses that you can reach out to. Is it Carr and R? Or, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
You're gonna reach out to your local board. You'll reach out to us. We'll find it. But there's courses that you can get. You'll see like people's name with the certificate that says GRI. Just means that you've gone through this 3 months extensive course, and you came out a smarter, better agent because of it. The general public is not going to know what a GRI is. So it has nothing to do with the general public. It has to do with when you're dealing from professional to professional, they're going to view you differently. You're going to view yourself differently because you're proud that you just got the certificate that you had to struggle through to learn all this information. And the information is correct because you're getting it right from the source. So you're going to walk into a transaction going, I am the more qualified agent because I took the time to learn this versus I don't know who this person is on the other end. And you can tell the moment they open their mouth and say something about a contract, you can tell whether or not who's going to be in control of this transaction.
And that's not cheap either, isn't that like $5,000 or something?
No. So I mean, if this is a long-term career for you, these are things that like I'm planning for. I'm going to set money aside for my education.
There's a lot of local ones too, like that one at Madonna Inn we went to, that are really good on just knowledge of things. Like they'll have attorneys there and tell you what you can, like good protocol and stuff. And
The legal updates.
I think those are really, really beneficial and close to free to go to, or if not free, they're
There's a lot of stuff that like
Like
attorneys will do.
$20, yeah.
Lunch and learns, lunches.
3 hour
Um,
attorneys.
Don't get caught up in the trap that a lot of agents do is they go to these things because they aren't working their business and they're thinking that if I go to these things, I'll end up getting business and then your business will ultimately be just going to conventions and you're never putting anything into action, and therefore you don't have a pipeline. I can't tell you how many agents that at the local board that I'm sitting there going, you know, you're more into the food than you are into selling. Like they'll go on Caravan just to eat, but they're not taking the knowledge in of like, I'm learning about the property so I can turn around and talk to my clients about it. So if you're truly trying to make an income and a living in this business, then don't get caught up in the rat race of, I need to go to this conference on Monday, a conference on Tuesday, conference on Wednesday, and then you go to escrow, and then you're ultimately there to be entertained, and you're not really doing anything to work in your business. This is where you're time managing yourself, going, all right, I'm going to give 3 hours this week for education, and I'm going to give 6 hours this week for phone calls. Make sure you balance yourself out. Because if you're not talking to the public and making your phone calls consistently, you're going to constantly be tracking and chasing the business. And the goal here is to push hard to where when you slow down, you've pushed so hard that now it starts to give back. And you're never going to stop pushing. You're just going to push differently as we grow as an agent.
I think it says in the book, a third of your time education, a third of your time passing, and a third of your time actually going on business.
Try for 5. If you get onto something that works awesome, like you do those edited videos, well, it might take you 2 hours to do an edited video, but you got results. Within that, doing that edited video will get you the same results of somebody that's freaking, outdoor knocking for 2 hours. You get the same results in 15 minutes because you entertain somebody, they called, but then once they comment, how do you capture and follow up with that? You can't just let them comment and then do nothing. You have to engage yourself in the comments. Private message them, make sure you put them on the campaign, so now you're sending them mailers, or you're following up with a phone call. Like you're somehow reaching out to them other than Facebook. Facebook got you in the door, now you gotta close. Okay. Scripts are awesome. Learn them. It's just muscle memory. It's like going to the gym. You'll start learning those one-liners I was talking about. Practice scripts in the mirror. There's agents in this office that would love to practice scripts. But again, don't get caught in the rat race where all I do is practice scripts and I never put them in place. If you're going to practice a script, make sure you get out of your comfort zone and use it on somebody that day. The moment you practice it, hang up the phone, call somebody you've never called before, call someone that you haven't called in a while, and use the script on that person, even if it's your mom and dad. Like, call them to try to use the script. You're going to feel totally uncomfortable. It's going to feel abnormal, but that's how you learn. And then once you do it a couple times, you're always trying to all right, a different script every day so I can get myself in different atmospheres or different opportunities, and this is how I would handle it. You need to have your objection handling down immediately. You can never hesitate on an objection. Why should I hire a realtor? What do you do? There was a spot up here that said not only a business card, a good thing to make is like a personalized brochure. It's almost your resume. It's your resume with some flair. Like you just kind of made it decorative and it's pretty and it's fun to look at, but it pretty much is your resume. And have those in your card. Someone goes, well, why should I hire you? Let me tell you. Here you go. And I have my business card on there, and there you go. I'll almost promise not many people take it to that level. They have their business card, and that's as far as they have it. This is a personalized marketing piece about you and your business.
Are you still doing the role playing Tuesdays through Thursdays?
Noah was the only person that was jumping
I've
on.
actually hopped over. We've been doing it in the morning, 8:30.
Good.
Role playing.
Good. The Zoom platform is available. I was doing it, but I didn't see anybody. There wasn't anybody.
To be honest, when I was doing it on there, it was kind of like I just read these and then they would yes, no, and I didn't get objections. I didn't get the feel of it. We've been doing. I go.
Real life crap.
I literally go outside of the door. I go knock on the door, if I'm doing door knocking script, and they open the door, and she's very abrupt and close to slams the door in my face. But you get a feel of actually talking to someone and you lean in for stuff. When they open the door, you take a little step back. So
Scripts should be 15 minutes. You're in, you're do, and then you're done. It doesn't, but yeah, you just need to get the muscle memory. If you're gonna go door knocking, take your scripts, and before you go knock on the first door, read your scripts and then go do it. And then get the door slammed in your face and get that uncomfortable feeling. I've literally knocked on a door and I forgot why I was there and what to say to them. And I just went, I'm selling a house. Great. What do you want? And I said, I'm sorry, I don't even know. It's like,
Brain freeze.
yeah, just totally uncomfortable, hot flash to the whole body. But then the next one I went, I better be prepared because I would, oh wow, you opened the door. Like, have a reason why you're there, but just be ready. And really the objection handling, whether it's these scripts, because you're going to find they're going to get boring, repetitive, you're going to learn them. Jump on Google and be like, real estate scripts, real estate objection handling. Watching people like,
There's tons of videos.
tons of videos. I mean, tons. I really like System Saturdays. His name is, I can't think of his name. I don't know, the Mummy type real estate videos, he'll be on there.
I like Brian Casella. He does live ones too. He'll call like FISBOs and expireds and record them live. And so he only has a few of those, but Brian Casella, it's a Brian with a Y, and then Casella is CASELLA.
Celine I'll probably have her once a month for 30 minutes where you can just watch her do calls. It's not that she's wonderful, it's just she's doing it. Like she's in the mix. She's like, when she emails me at night, she'll just, hey Dave, I did this many calls, I got hung on this many times, I got this many people that got pissed off, but I got one person that was interested. It's like, cool. So then you run the numbers, it's like, man, it's 100 people to 1 when you cold call. That's a lot of no's before you get to that yes. So just know, like, if you're getting a no, you should be getting excited because you're tracking that. You're just like, no. My yes is coming. Like, it's almost, you're putting it, I put it all on black and you're hitting red all the time. Eventually, it's going to hit red. You'll get a yes. Eventually, you just can't quit. The moment you quit, it's done. You've got to keep pushing. Find a way to get past the fear, whether it's a jumping jack or getting out of your seat or flicking army men or screaming, like whatever you need to do, but you just make the next phone call. You make the next phone call. Because if you're not doing it, there's other agents out there like Jay Barn that are. How Swayze that is. And those are the ones that are getting the business and you're not. And they're not doing anything different, but they're making their phone calls consistently, every day, hardcore. And if there's agents out there doing that, then ultimately someone's going to get the business. Yeah. You don't need to be, okay, so this gives you an idea of how to track stuff. Again, if you don't have a CRM or anything, you just need the old school way. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you use, you just need to do something. Because if you don't do something and you have nothing to go back and look at, you have no idea whether or not you're working or you're just twiddling your thumbs thinking you're working. You have to be able to hold yourself accountable and go, oh, I did make 5 phone calls, I did do this, I did do mailers, and I got this as a result. I might have only got 2, so if I want 10, I need to times it by 10. I need to do more if I expect. And every 10 leads, I get 1 closing. So if I want $10,000, I need to do this 100 times, get this many results, and I'll make $10,000. Then you won't feel so weird about spending $1,000 because you have something that you can track. Yeah. All right, that's all I got. We're over time. My bad.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.